Hello everyone, this is Pastor Max. How was your week? Today we're diving into a really cool piece of art than what it tells us about the gospel in a way that connects to our lives right now. So, how do you understand the gospel, especially in Protestantism? Well, evangelical or biblical, these words almost seem to define the identity of a legitimate church. But what is evangelical and biblical? Do you get nervous when the words liberal, liberation theology, and evolution come up? Is there anything evangelical or biblical about these words? Over the next few weeks, I want us to think about these important topics. So today we are going to use Giovanni Bellini's painting, The Agony in the Garden, to help us understand what the gospel means. So look at this artwork. Imagine this. It's nighttime, and Jesus is in a dark garden, praying intensely. The background features the distant lights of Jerusalem, the darkness of the night, and the somber mood emphasize Jesus' isolation and the heavy burden he's carrying. Bellini's use of light and shadow plays a critical role in setting the emotional tone of the painting, highlighting the inner turmoil and solitude of Jesus during this pivotal moment. Jesus is at the center, kneeling and praying earnestly. Around him, his disciples are asleep. They were supposed to keep watch and support Jesus, but their inability to stay awake highlights their human frailty and failure to grasp the significance of what is happening. The angel presenting the cup to Jesus is a crucial element. It symbolizes the immense suffering and sacrifice Jesus is about to endure. Bellini's careful depiction of the landscape and the figures creates a sense of depth and realism, drawing the viewer into the scene. While painting does not show full frontal view of Jesus' face, his posture and partial profile express deep agony and resignation. His bowed head and clasped hands reflect his intense emotional struggle and total submission to God's will. This detail emphasizes the human aspect of Jesus' experience, showcasing his vulnerability and strength. The way he is positioned, with his body bent forward and his hands in a pleading gesture, symbolizes his complete submission to God's will. The angel offering the cup is significant. It symbolizes the suffering Jesus is about to endure. The angel's presence is a comforting reminder of divine support, even in the darkest moments. This figure is illuminated, emphasizing the hope and divine support that transcends the agony of the moment. Well, disciples are depicted sleeping, symbolizing human weakness and spiritual unawareness. They fail to stay awake and support Jesus in his moment of need, highlighting their lack of comprehension of the impending events and serving as a reminder of our own spiritual shortcomings. Bellini's painting isn't just art. It's a story of Jesus' ultimate sacrifice and come back. He took on all our mess, our sins, and went through the worst to give us a fresh start. Theologians like Karl Barth emphasized this event as central to salvation, showing both God's judgment against sin and his mercy toward sinners. N.T. Wright adds that Jesus' resurrection marks the beginning of a new creation, implying that God's kingdom is already breaking into our world. Jesus went through all that pain and came back to life to wipe away our sins and give us a new life. His resurrection isn't just about heaven, it's about transforming life on earth too. The painting also tells us that God's kingdom isn't just some future dream, it's already starting. Jesus' suffering wasn't just about saving individual souls, it was about initiating a revolution of love, justice, and peace. Gustavo Gutierrez argues that the gospel calls us to fight against social injustices and work towards a society that reflects God's kingdom. Jürgen Moltmann explains that God's kingdom is both a present reality and a future hope, urging Christians to work for justice and peace now. God's kingdom isn't just up in heaven, it's about making our world better, filled with justice, peace, and love. It's already happening, and we get to be a part of it. Also, this painting pushes us to look at our own lives. Jesus' suffering and obedience show that our faith isn't just personal, it's social. We need to grow spiritually and take action in our communities. Dietrich Bonhoeffer emphasizes that true faith involves following Jesus in everyday life, including standing up for justice and helping those in need. James Cone argues that the gospel is inherently political and demands that Christians fight against racial oppression and economic inequality. Jesus stuck to God's plan, even when it was super tough. That's a cue for us. Our faith should lead us to help others and fight for what's right. It's not just about us. It's about making a difference. This journey also speaks to taking care of the world around us. It's about environmental stewardship and sustainable living. Theologians like Sally McFay argue that caring for the earth is a crucial part of Christian faith, as the earth is God's creation and we are its stewards. Leonardo Boff combines ecological and social justice, emphasizing that the environmental care is integral to the gospel. Jesus' salvation includes not just individuals, but all of God's creation. We must protect the environment and care for the planet. It's part of living out the gospel. Giovanni Bellini's the Agony in the Garden is more than just a neat picture. It's a powerful message about the gospel integrated meaning, personal transformation, social justice, and environmental care. This story affects every part of our lives and our world. Let's take this message to heart and live it out every day.